What does it mean to be seen, truly seen, when the world you've built feels like it's crumbling under the weight of expectation? Amelia stood at the edge of her family's dining room, the glow of Christmas lights casting flickering shadows across her face. The table was a chaotic spread of half-eaten dishes, dry stuffing, congealed gravy, a sad slice of turkey swimming in its own juices. Her mother, distracted by a heated debate with Aunt Clara about holiday traditions, had handed her a plate of leftovers without a glance. "Here, Amy, there's plenty," she'd said, her voice warm but absent. Amelia's heart sank. 35 years old, a career on the brink of something extraordinary, yet here she was, still the afterthought, served scraps at her own family's Christmas dinner. She forced a smile, clutching the chipped ceramic plate. The room buzzed with laughter, clinking glasses, and her cousin's stories of new babies and renovated homes. Amelia's life, though, was a different kind of story, one of late nights at the office, of clawing her way up in a corporate world that rewarded charm as much as competence. She'd spent years proving herself, first as the overlooked intern, then as the relentless manager who never missed a deadline. Tonight, though, she was just Amy, the quiet one who didn't make a fuss. She sat at the table's corner, pushing a fork through the cold mashed potatoes. Her phone, tucked in her pocket, felt like a lifeline to another world, one where she wasn't invisible. She'd been waiting for news, the kind that could change everything. Her assistant, Mark, had promised to call if the board made a decision about the promotion. Vice President of Strategy. The title alone made her pulse race. It was the culmination of a decade of sacrifice, missed birthdays, canceled dates, and holidays spent answering emails while others unwrapped gifts. Her brother, Tom, leaned over, his breath tinged with eggnog. "You okay, Amy? You look like you're at a funeral, not Christmas." She nodded, forcing another smile. "Just tired," she lied. How could she explain the weight of waiting, the fear that her sacrifices might amount to nothing? The conversation swirled around her Uncle Joe's fishing trip, her sister's new bakery, but Amelia's thoughts were elsewhere, tethered to the silent phone in her pocket. Then it buzzed. She slipped into the hallway, heart pounding, and answered. "Amelia, it's Mark," came the familiar voice, clipped with excitement. "You got it. Vice President. The board voted unanimously. They want you in New York by New Year's." Her breath caught. The words felt surreal, like a melody she'd heard in a dream. "Are you serious?" she whispered, leaning against the wall. "Dead serious," Mark laughed. "You did it, boss." She stood frozen, the phone still pressed to her ear. The promotion wasn't just a tight light, it was validation, proof that her work mattered, that she wasn't invisible. But as the joy surged, so did a pang of something else. She glanced back at the dining room, where her family laughed over a story she hadn't heard. They hadn't noticed her absence. Not one of them. Returning to the table, she set her phone down, the weight of the moment settling in her chest. Her mother looked up, finally noticing her. "Everything okay, Amy?" she asked, concern creasing her brow. Amelia hesitated. She could tell them share the news, let it fill the room like the Christmas lights. But something stopped her. Would they understand what it meant? Would they see her, not as the quiet Amy who took leftovers without complaint, but as the woman who'd just reshaped her future? Instead, she smiled softly. "Just work," she said, and took a bite of the cold turkey. It tasted better than she'd expected, warmed by the secret she carried. The room hummed on, oblivious, but Amelia felt a shift inside her. She wasn't the leftovers anymore. She was the woman who'd fought for her place, who'd turned scraps of opportunity into something extraordinary. As dessert was served store-bought pie, another afterthought, Amelia's mind wandered to New York. She imagined her new office, the skyline glittering beyond her window, the weight of decisions that would rest on her shoulders. But she also saw this table, this messy, imperfect family, and realized she didn't need their validation to feel whole. The promotion was hers, earned through her own grit and grace. Later, as she helped clear the plates, her mother squeezed her hand. "You're always so quiet, Amy. What's going on in that head of yours?" For the first time that night, Amelia felt seen. She smiled, not ready to share her news just yet. "Just thinking about what's next," she said. And in that moment, surrounded by leftovers and love, Amelia knew her story was just beginning.